New Maxi time? Let's talk about it. So, if you guys have been living under a rock, basically this morning, just basically like 10 minutes ago, a new card got announced out of Rage of the Abyss. This time, not a leak. And it is Molcharmi Fueros. Of course, we got Molcharmi Perulia out of Infinite Forbidden. And a lot of people saw this as the new Maxi because it allows you to draw a card for each time your opponent special summons out of the hand. However, this was always a gimped version of Maxi, but now we have Fueros, which is basically the main thing. This card, you can only activate one other Molcharmi monster effect the turn you activate this effect. So you can only use one other Molcharmi card. That means you could use another Fueros. You can use another Perulia. You can use any other hand trap if you want. That's how that wording works. If you control no cards, you can discard this card. So you can use this in draw phase, play around talents. Like the other one is a level 1. It's a level 4 win. Not great typing, not great stats. It's good level though. Each time your opponent special summons a monster from the deck or extra deck, immediately draw one. That's Maxi, guys. That's Maxi. You literally get to draw a card every time you special summon from the deck or extra deck, which is the main way of special summoning monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then it has the other effect that Perulia has is once during the end phase, if the number of cards in your hand is more than the number of cards your opponent controls plus 6, you must randomly shuffle cards from your hand into the deck so the number in your hand equals the number your opponent controls plus 6. So you can only go plus 6 on this card. Woo! Like, that's still very good. So basically, this thing is Maxi. If you guys aren't familiar with Maxi, it is the plague of everybody's existence in Master Duel, because when this card's sent to the graveyard, you basically get to draw a card every time your opponent special summons a monster that turn. And it's always been a game warping card that basically stops people from being able to play their decks, you know. It keeps certain cards in check, like Grass is banned over here because we don't have Maxi over here. There's a lot of cards that the OCG have legal that we just do not have. So are they going to start coming back is my question. I think that there's a bunch of different implications with this card coming back as well. You'll see people just start running even more hand traps, frankly, just because this card allows you to draw into your hand trap. So I feel like if anyone ever thought we were leaving a or a hand trap format, you were sadly mistaken. Like, I was thinking we might be going into a board breaker format coming up here. However, I think that with the fact of Beatrice being a card and we have no ban list, we're still going to be stuck in a hand trap format because you need to answer the Beatrice with a hand trap, and Fueros really just plays into that because the fact you're going to already have Molcharmi, you're already going to have Maxi, you're going to have Dominus Purge too. It's crazy. Like, Molcharmi Fueros is going to be so high value because you're going to be able to draw into your hand traps, draw into your non-engine, while your opponent is going neg-6 on making their board. Like, they get to make their board, but your opponent gets to draw 6. And let's consider this. Snake Eye, you will get 9 to 10 draws off of that on the standard Snake Eye Fiendsmith combo, because they have to special summon from extra deck or deck 10 times. 9 to 10 times. With Yubel, it's even worse. They have to go up to 12 times in order to play around, in order to make their full board. So what happens now? Like, what are the implications of this card being out? I think that, you know, like, does everyone start maining this card now? I think is what is on a lot of people's minds at this point. Because Maxi obviously was a card that everybody had to run. When this card is legal, Maxi is a card that is an auto run because of how game warping it is. And this card is honestly, like, between you and me, guys, I think that this card has the potential to be as game warping as Maxi. Obviously, you don't draw from specialing from your hand, but like, we all know Molcharmi was not, Perulia was not very good because of the fact it was only from hand. There were only a few decks like Fluanderie, Sprite that really got hurt by that, which that begs the question, though, that Fueros might be balanced a little bit because there are decks that sometimes special a lot from hand, but Fueros is going to hit Sprite still very hard. It's just going to be Molcharmi for Flu mainly. Fueros will just be fine against Sprite, frankly. I think you'll still get enough draws off of it for it to be pretty effective. It's pretty good still against Memento. Memento was another card or deck I really liked Molcharmi Perulia against because they always just specialed from hand. And this is a new deck out of Infinite Forbidden, so if you're looking for things to be on the lookout for the new meta that, you know, of course, Perulia really does hit that deck, but I think Fubaros on every level is a better card than Molchumi Perulia. And you can use them together, that's the thing. You could go Fubaros and then Perulia, and then you can still be Maxi or using Ash. Imperm. It's insane, this card's application, I think, in the meta. I think that overall I want to hear from you guys, like, is this going to be the game warping Yu-Gi-Oh card that we've been waiting for? And I mean, you guys have seen the Fiendsmith engine is about to come out in Infinite Forbidden with the Link 1 closed of the moon, or Link 2 closed in the moon sky, which basically makes it so that most decks can just bridge into the Fiendsmith engine. Also, there's now a TCG exclusive that basically turbos out the deck, or makes it a true one card combo in Fiendsmith. So I think that overall that Fubaros is going to kind of fit in with that mold of modern card design that Yu-Gi-Oh that Konami's going for. They're really going for these generic cards that can break the game. You guys see Triple Tactics Talents, Triple Tactics Thrust. You guys obviously see the Fiendsmith engine just being one of the best generic engines of all time, as well as the Diabell Star engine, which is now becoming even more generic. Fubaros, I think, just fits the mold of that. And is it good for the game, though? That's like kind of what we have to talk about, because who asked for this? I saw some reactions on Twitter, you know. I think I saw Jeff Jones basically say on Twitter that he's going to take a break right before this card comes out, because, I mean, it's going to be pretty game breaking, I think was the implication there. I do think overall that the implications immediately when this card comes out is that you're going to start, like, people are going to be maining this. Like, Tenpai is going to be maining this. Any deck that can main this will essentially main it, because it's Maxi. Now, it's a going second Maxi. That is the thing. That's the one saving grace of this card, is it's a going second Maxi. You can't use this going first. And I think that's one of the best applications of Maxi, actually, back in the day, and on Master Duels, when you can use Maxi going first as an end board piece to as a interruption on top of your already end board, so you can like draw into more hand traps and more interruptions. So I think that overall, when, you know, do people start just playing around this card now because they don't want to play into Fubaros? I mean, I think that could start happening, but I think we have to now make a determination. Are people going to start maining this card? I think Snake Eye has a good reason to main this card, even though it's only a going second card. But that's the thing, it's only a going second card, so we could still see this card still relegated to the side deck. At the end of the day, it is still a going second card, because it can only be basically if you control no cards. So you can't even like get your board broken, and then it's good. So it's really relegated to the side deck. So it has those hard balance mechanics behind it, between the fact that you can't use it going first, and then on top of that, you can't go over +6. It also kind of shuffles your hand so that you aren't always ending on the same. You can't guarantee what cards you end on in your hand. So I've heard some people say, oh, you hand loop yourself when you go use these Molcharmi effects and go +6, because of the fact that you randomly shuffle cards into your hand to your deck, so the number of your hand equals your opponent's +6. So I think overall it won't be as good as Maxi. It's definitely not as good as Maxi. We can all agree with that. I think that overall, though, you can use 2 of these a turn. That's the thing. Like, it is an insane card still. And I think that every deck will be running this card in one way, shape, or form. I think that the implication is it's the best hand trap to come out in Yu-Gi-Oh! In years since Ash Blossom, I would say. And I didn't play the game too much between Ash Blossom and Power of the Elements, but between looking at the cards that came out and looking at this card is so high value. It is still a Maxi. It is the closest thing to Maxi we got. Molcharmi Perulia was not a Maxi replacement. This thing is a Maxi replacement. And because of that, we will start, other implications include we will start seeing cards come back like Grass is Greener. I think that we could start seeing other cards in the OC that the OCG has that we frankly don't. We could see Electromite come back for, like, I don't, like, maybe the Arado Electromite, but I could see Electromite coming back now, because Electromite, you can't have pendulums exist in a world with Maxi. Obviously, Electromite enables a lot of FTKs, but, you know, I think that we could start seeing cards like that come back because of Perulia coming back, you know, I think, which is kind of cool that we can start seeing cards come back. I don't think we'll see Rongo or anything. Like, Rongo's banned everywhere. Like, I mean, we could also see a pattern of
Konami using this card to basically not have to ban certain cards, because this card's in the game. Oh, great. We don't have to ban Beatrice now because, okay, now Snake Eye gets Perillia, or gets Molcharmid, and your opponent guaranteed goes +6 against any of the meta decks. Like, even against Branded, Molcharmid still draws you 6. It's crazy during standard combo. So this card, I think, is way too good not to consider / to run in your side deck, just straight up. I think it's way too good not to. So for that reason, I think this card will be a like $150 secret rare by far. Like, Konami knows what they're doing. This card is going to be a secret rare. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but if it is an ultra rare or less, I would say Konami is like, their shareholders should be upset, frankly, because this thing is such a good this is such an obvious give me for just being a secret rare. And also, Ash Blossom guys were $80 on release, and it was a secret rare. It also doubled in price after people realized how good it was. Get your copies as soon as it comes out, because they will be as cheap as they are, unless the pre-orders are going to basically the pre-orders obviously could just be inflated, because a lot of people are just gonna know this is the next Maxi. Like, the OCG might just ban Maxi after this too, guys. Like, this is a more balanced Maxi. I could see the OCG and Master Duel banning Maxi. I don't see them keeping around 6 copies of Maxi, 9 copies if you count Perillia. So I do think, guys, that we will see a banning of Maxi. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Is the format destroyed now? Like, Nats was already insane, but it's gonna keep getting more insane with Rage of the Abyss. This is one of the best generics, if not the best generic, to come out in years. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. See you guys later.